next presentation is from Dr. Vandana Singh, who is Assistant Professor at the University School of Law and Legal Studies at Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in Delhi, India. And her talk today is innovative subjects in legal education, and she's going to share her PowerPoint for her presentation. Thank you.
I hope my presentation, all of you can see my presentation. Good evening, everyone. I'm privileged to be part of CUHK conference, Direction in Legal Education 2020. We are about to end third parallel session, and since afternoon, all the presentation and panel discussions were enlightening. To continue with the discussion, I would like to present my topic on innovative legal education. Basically, when we talk about innovative legal education, first of all, we should quote the study of Max Red in the year 1992, whose report about the legal education shook up the legal academia by identifying a gap between skills that modern lawyers need and the doctrinal emphasis of most law schools. McGrath, in his study, he recognized a series of fundamental skills, including problem solving. Including problem solving, legal analysis and reasoning, legal research, factual investigation, communication, counseling, negotiation, litigation, and alternative dispute resolution, negotiation, and management of legal work, and recognizing and resolving ethical dilemma to the extent that law school curricula underrepresented these skills. The report suggested that they be taught within existing doctrinal course. In the 40 years since 1992, the practice of law has continued to evolve with perhaps its greatest transformation arising from technological innovation. We have seen, among many others, the birth and maturation of the internet, the spread of mobile computing from laptop to notepad to tablet to smartphone, the introduction of law firm automation system, the emergence of electronic filing, and the rise of digital communication such as email, SMS, etc., etc. Today, lawyers are implementing paperless offices, cloud-based practices, management system, starting a virtual law practice, and so many other things are there in today legal education. So when we talk about the innovative subjects and new subjects in legal education, we all know that legal education varies from one nation to other nation, even within a region where the same laws prevail. In one state to another state, we are having so many specific state laws to teach to the student. The legal tradition as culture, the education system, legal profession, demand for legal education. Unfortunately, the legal education system around the world, they are facing a challenges. There exists now both the opportunity for each law school to create a USP and a challenge for each law school to create a USP. We are not yet sure about how much flexibility there will be, but I bet each law school is reflecting on its provision and on the market and reconsidering its curriculum against the best market intelligence of its competition. But for the community of legal educators, for the legal academy itself, there is both a desire and a need for collaboration for a strong legal education training and future, our future. The concern is how to overcome the difficulties in the innovation, efficiency, and relevance of the educational services worldwide. These reform, when we talk about the innovative teaching education, were evidence-based, but were also based on future projections that took into account trends in horizontal and vertical mobility, market fluidity, uncertain quality standards, changing forums of knowledge and skills, and increasing cost barriers to legal education. We need to encourage innovation in legal education to ensure delivery of justice, to have a creative and more realistic approach in its essential to introduce reform in the education system, which would be beneficial in building a brighter mindset of the youth. Focus need to be made on how we can attain the goal of encouraging innovative subjects in the legal background. The quality, as a result, we can say that law school will need to be more active in the future in reshaping legal education, both within and without law schools, outside the law school, and particularly in their relationship with regulators. They will also need to provide legal educational research that can support evidence-based claim about legal education. While framing the new legal subject, we have to keep in mind certain guidelines. The first guideline we can say that for innovative subject, it is very important that we should avoid technification. Technification, we can say regulation easily erodes into technification of regulation. We need to register that while framing any new law curricula. Second, we can see the renew learning spaces. We have to adopt fresh approaches that can improve regulation and the quality of legal education. We have to focus on experimental learning rather than on doctrinal learning, where we generally talk about that what a particular jurist has said, and we have to more based on the society need of society, the contemporary issues in legal education. Third, we can say that redesign relation. What is the required in any law school that save the future within regulator? Redesign relations between academy and profession, recast curriculum design, learn and implement from other discipline, profession, jurisdiction. One participant also said that it is very important for all of us to develop interdisciplinary approach in legal education. It is very important that all of us should develop the interdisciplinary approach, so that the law and sociology, law and economics, law and science, all these things are required for developing and understanding the contemporary legal route. The next, we can say, the fourth point is map and improve legal educational research. When we will map and improve the legal educational research, it will fill many gaps. Almost no organized research program, insufficient historical understanding of sub-discipline and practice, little shared understanding across the force. And while framing all these things, what is the requirement? That we should focus on bringing the world together for common cause. And the common cause should be the serving the mankind. The second, we can say, due to growth in the diversity and complexity of law, there is need to have greater specialization. So nowadays we are having so many laws, so it is important that we should promote more specialization rather than reading the general law. Next, we can say, with an objective to improve the standards, the education services should encourage innovation subjective. It is very important for all of us to encourage the innovative subjective. Next, it is also required to focus on the sophisticated research concerning the history and the social context related law. What is the other important is that it is essential to reflect on the factors which motivate in providing opportunity for better change in the educational system. Other important thing we can say, it is active law institution participation can bring better changes by fulfilling the needs of the society and formulation of better laws and regulation. These are the other issues which we have to follow. That what are the skill, knowledge, experience currently required by the legal service sector? We can say that what skill, knowledge, expertise will be required by the legal service sector in coming 10 years. What kind of legal education and training system will deliver the regulatory objective of the legal service? Next, we can say that whether it will promote whatever we are going to teach, flexibility, social mobility, equality and diversity. The other is what will be the required to ensure the responsiveness of the legal education and training system to emerging needs. Next, we can say what scope is there to move towards sector wide outcome activity based regulation. What need is there, if any, for extension of the regulation to currently non regulated group? Focus we have already discussed. Next, we can say that in this changing environment, law schools face the challenges of providing the inherent value of their programs and have the opportunity to develop a genuinely distinctive offering which meets the interest of their students and their faculty. We know variety of approaches which might adopted to considering how the relationship between morality and law, the values underpinning the legal system, the role of lawyer in relation to those value might be addressed most effectively into undergraduate law degree. In so doing, it will consider the perceived dichotomy between providing a liberal education and the meeting the need of the probation. What are the other need for innovative legal system is the focus on round education for students, broadening their knowledge, sensitivity, and skill for law practice by introducing various interdisciplinary courses. Some nation easily welcome changes, and this depends on country to country. Next, what is the requirement? That emphasis on having new models and pattern which can be jointly welcomed by all. Higher education need to improve its quality, which can be possible when innovative subjects are introduced in the legal education system. Emphasize on new curriculum which would reflect on combination of new paper based on science, economy, technology, management that would encourage critical thinking. Law school need to participate effectively in the program of other professional institutions like School of Administration, Public Health, multidisciplinary institution to encourage development in the field of research work. What are the efforts which we need to required is we can say these are the efforts. Encourage large scale education, need to have social role of law teachers, formulation of precise learning which would encourage the study of affair in the society, emphasize on studying the problem of development. It will be beneficial to understand the understanding the relationship between human activities and relation. The study of rich heritage, literature, philosophy, historical experiences with law would make the student concentrate on the practical problem of the world. To maintain academic and practical insight, there is need to indulge students in theoretical, doctrinal, and skill development program concerning innovative subjects in the legal field in future. What is the important that redesign relation conceptual changes in law school identity? Wisdom is not only virtue that is having a poor time of it in the modern university. Patience, humility, generosity, perseverance, thoroughness, carefulness, quietness, these might once have been felt to be sign of a strength of character. No longer in age of self promotion, self representation, visibility, efficiency, work rate, personal performance indicators, and sheer competitiveness character traits such as these come to be seen as sign of personal weakness. That is why it is important that we should work on innovative subject. It is also essential that modern law curriculum should embedded legal skill into substantive teaching to avoid the danger of legal skill potentially being treated as a bolt on to teaching. If a legal skill are not embedded in this way, we run the danger of a student viewing them as an unimportant part of their learning. This may partially explain why many law graduates in are unprepared for undertaking legal work as currently required. We have to undertake review of parts of our curriculum to ensure that legal skills are not just taught but are also assessed as part of the learning journey of our students. Within the law school, there is a growing recognition that as lifelong skill, reflection is crucial to students' learning learning, and importantly, that students need help in order to reflect effectively. We should help our students to develop as reflective practitioner and to set them on a path towards lifelong learning that will enable them to reflect on their performance, not just as a student but as a legal practitioner. We want our students to evaluate their practice, act on feedback, and improve their performance at both the academic stage of their training and into their career. We have to assume that students will instinctively know how to reflect on their progress, but we rarely check this, and it is usually not assessed. We have also come to recognize that in many law assessment, what is assessed is prudent rather than process. Our perception is that legal writing is not always assessed at undergraduate level. We have to assess the knowledge, application, evaluation, but not necessarily communication. For example, we might mark an essay on an answer to a problem question, but rarely assess how the student has arrived at their answer, which arguably is not more valuable in terms of their learning. Equally in assessing students through traditional exam, coursework, style, assessment, etc., we are encouraging particular form of academic writing and not necessarily preparing students for practice where they will have to write different audience. These are some of the subject which we can say law with science course in university. So many law colleges around the world, they have started with law with science courses in university, and it would encourage practical legal skills and an awareness of the complex interaction between science and society. In an age of increasing technological advancement, the link between science and the law will only become stronger. We can see that law with science and technology program at higher education level would reflect understanding the intellectual property law, health law, internet law, technology and civil liberties, the civil liberties. Okay,
Thank you,
civil.
Dr. Singh.
Time up.
Yeah, yes, we've run out of time now, but we do have a question.
Okay.
And the question is, what do you think the social role of teachers should be, and what is the situation like in India?
In India, basically, so many national law schools, they are having the both combination of doctrinal as well as empirical teaching style. We are in the process of developing clinical legal education in India, and so many law schools we are giving emphasis on ADR process like arbitration, mediation, conciliation. We take student to community outreach program also. Me as convener of Legal Aid Society, we take students to the villages and to other rural areas so that students can learn both the practicality as well as doctrinal aspect of a particular legal system. But certainly at the same time, India is a big country and we are having so many states, and in so many states we are not having the same status of legal education throughout the country.
Thank you. Have participants got any more questions for Dr. Singh? We have a few more minutes for any more questions. Okay, we have a question. Are there legal education research journals or conferences in India?
Pardon, can you repeat?
Yeah. Are there any legal education research journals or conferences in India?
Yeah, of course. There are so many. Please visit to Loctopus website is there, and you can see the legal education and conferences in India. Nowadays, we are also having most of the conferences, virtual conferences, so you can participate on so many legal conferences in India.
Thank you. Okay. If anybody has any more questions. We have another question for you. What is technification of regulation?
Technification of regulation, to my understanding, what I have researched, is making law curriculum based on bare act only. What we say that the laws they are not stagnant. In means constant in change. In the oxymoron explained by the professor, we have seen that we should not confine to technification of legal education. It means we should not encourage students to read bare act only, but it is more important to read the interpretation, and merely by clauses, sub clauses, these things should not be there. So technification in my presentation, it means making a student read only the bare acts or the statute, legal legislation.
Thank you.